Well, if you're a fan of DC animation, one show that has a special place is Batman Beyond. There's been long-running reports that the character could return in one form or another, and now it appears we have a major update on Batman Beyond and when it could possibly return. So let's dive into it. Now, if many of you remember, just before Peter Safran and James Gunn took over DC Studios, well, the trades were reporting that the Birds of Prey writer, Christian Hodson, had been working on a live-action version of Batman Beyond. This was reported to star Michael Keaton as the older version of Batman, and honestly, it really got fans pretty excited. Now, once the new DCU slate started to be developed, this project was apparently dropped. But we've got some interesting news about a completely different Batman Beyond adaptation that apparently is still in development. Now, once again, this comes from Jeff Snyder on his Hot Mic podcast. So as we always say, it doesn't come from James Gunn or anybody at DC Studios, so we want to take it with a grain of salt, but his track record is solid, and honestly, I think this is probably pretty spot on. Now, according to Jeff, Fast 9 writer Daniel Casey is currently penning a script for an animated Batman Beyond movie. Now, this was started back when Walter Hamada was still in charge of DC Films and is meant to be Warner Brothers' answer to Sony's Into the Spider-Verse. Now, during the podcast, Jeff Snyder actually said, as of this minute, the project is in development at DC Now. These guys could get a call in the next week. This is a project that I've heard has never been reported, and there are multiple drafts of it. Now, the fact that the project has got multiple drafts means DC is pretty serious, and if it's still ongoing, these drafts must have been pretty good. The Batman Beyond series was so popular with fans, it ran starting in 1999 for 3 seasons and gave us a new look at a futuristic Batman, Terry McGinnis, under the tutelage of an elderly but still capable Bruce Wayne. The show was an absolute hit and a fan favorite. It even spawned off its own movie, Return of the Joker, which honestly is one of my favorite DC animated movies ever, especially the uncut version, and has a really special place in many fans' hearts. Now, as for this being a response to Into the Spider-Verse, well, that does make a lot of sense. Into the Spider-Verse was a huge fan hit, and Across the Spider-Verse has a high level of anticipation. The movie featured the introduction of a relatively unknown character as Spider-Man. The general public didn't know who Miles Morales was, and now he's basically a household name. I'm sure Warner Brothers wants the same thing for Terry McGinnis, but honestly, they're going to have to get this near perfect in order for it to rival Across the Spider-Verse. Now, obviously, we're waiting for some sort of official announcement from Gunn and Safran, and it very well could come during the second part of the Chapter 1 slate reveal. We don't have any information on this yet, but we want to keep a close eye on it. This character is a fan favorite and could be a huge part of the future in the DCU, but we'll have to wait and see.